Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we just found this book that's bound with human flesh, and we're about to read it. I'm your host, the Mayor Jeff Hornacek, and this is our movie commentary of the 1981 cult classic, The Evil Dead. This is currently on Max, formerly HBO Max. There will be a link in the description of this podcast of where to go watch it. So we're going to watch the movie along with you at home. We currently have ours paused. On Max, it only shows me how much time is remaining. So I have 1 hour, 25 minutes, 17 seconds left in the film, and Renaissance Pictures. Renaissance is up on the screen. So while you get your movie sunk up with us there, let's go around and meet the fellow bros. Tonight it's just Bro, actually. Our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Now, Ronnie, legally speaking, obviously, when you read the Necronomicon, there are terms and conditions that apply to it. So, Deadites, I know it's a verbal contract that they agree to be possessed by these evil spirits. How long does that last? And is it something you could conceivably get me out of if I were to be possessed by it?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a perpetual contract based on the consideration that you're getting
eternal life, I guess.
Life. So, damn. I mean, you get what you sign up for. You read those T's and C's, right? It doesn't say a happy eternal life,
Have you ever represented a Deadite?
Other than your ex-wife, Rachel?
Yeah, she definitely had. She was a succubus, we'll put it that way. All right, we are going to press play in 3, 2, 1, groovy.
That's the first time I've ever insulted your ex-wife, Rachel. I'm usually defending your ex-wife, Rachel. So.
Yeah, once the check clears, though, you're a free agent again. All right, so there's going to be a lot to talk about with this. First off, always good context. By the way, Raimi loves this first-person shot. He's obsessed with it. You and I had heard about this franchise for a long time. We are big horror heads, but we came to this much later. In fact, literally, as we're recording this, it's the middle of the summer. I watched the first 3 movies for the first time ever in a span of 3 days, and I think you kind of recommended them to me. What do you think finally got us to watch these? Because I had heard about them for a while. I didn't know too much, but I knew that there was a cult following behind these films.
Yeah, I think for me, it was like, again, being horror buffs, or this was the one famous franchise I had never watched, I had never touched. And a lot of it, I think, was accessibility. I remember a few times in the past few years trying to find it. It was never even on Amazon. Like, yeah. I would find the remakes, like the 2013, but I had always seen comments on Reddit about the franchise. I always saw comparisons between this franchise and Scream about how
which I don't get after having seen 3 of them, but okay.
Yeah, but they consistently, everyone says they're just the franchise puts out the most consistent movies. They're not saying the best movies, just like in the franchise, it sticks to what it does. And so as someone who will always defend Scream as probably the best horror franchise, I was like genuinely curious because of the comparisons. I did not know much though, actually at all about this film.
After having seen these, by the way, this is your favorite line in the whole film, right? When the car.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. This whole part is like so over the top.
Wait, that isn't when he yells at the guy?
It's right after this here in a second.
Okay. It's just like the guy's waving to them on the side of the road.
Yeah, like
sorry for existing.
Like it literally, I don't understand what context this line makes any sense that we're about to get. Here we go.
Go to hell, I'm not honking at you.
What's his problem?
Jesus Christ! Those guys are just like friendly.
Yeah, dude, why is he so offended that they're waving?
And then what do you mean you weren't honking at them?
He's also drinking out of a jar. I did not notice this first time. That's not a cup. It's literally a jar.
This is one of 3 actresses to portray Linda in the first 3 movies, because obviously this woman was too expensive to bring back.
Yes, of course. Well, this was a budget, I believe, of $450,000. I read that there was no studio attached to this film. It was just the filmmakers. They had this idea in college or something of that nature and filmed it and had fun with it, which you can very much tell they have a lot of fun with it. And then I think they just like got lucky. Someone picked it up, and then here we are 30 years later, 5 movies later.
So a Horns fun fact for you, according to IMDb. The cabin used as the film's set was also lodging for the 13 crew members, with several people sleeping in the same room. Living conditions were terrible, and the crew frequently argued. The cabin didn't have plumbing, so the actors went days without showering and felt ill frequently in the freezing weather. By the end of production, they were burning furniture to stay warm. So they're like the
Jesus
Donner
Christ.
Party trying to survive. Now that I know like how bare bones this production was, I mean, it kind of shows up on screen, but that has to be what the allure is for people with this movie, right?
I think so. I think that's what you consider a cult classic, right? Like, I mean, Halloween. We know the story of the original Halloween, how it was originally called the Babysitter Murders. It was not popular. Like, Halloween was not attributed to horror movies, all of that kind of stuff. Like, especially like why I'm fascinated, why I like wanted to watch The Evil Dead, and why like Halloween, the late 70s, early 80s was such a interesting time for horror, really just finding its footing, getting
Yeah.
away from the Alfred Hitchcocks, and really creating its own genre. That's still, I mean, you still see references to this day. How much of Cabin in the Woods
Oh yeah.
is referencing this film? I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a definitive time for the genre for sure. Probably had more output from that genre than we've had in like the last 25 years, to be honest. Although it did kind of make a comeback, especially with like high concept horror in like the mid 2015s.
Yeah, mid 2015s was another time, and I think the early 2000s, like with the Screams that I know you did last summer's
Found footage started to
found
become
footage,
big.
and then we got the Japanese horror remakes of The Ring, Grudge. There was a little bit of, yeah, and then it seems to lull for a while, and it makes a comeback. So I don't know
I
where
will
we
say,
are right now.
of all the genres, the cool thing about horror to me is it always like reinvents itself. Like the action genre doesn't really do that. Romance doesn't really have the ability to do that. Comedy, I guess to some degree does it. But still it's all sort of at its core the same. Horror, I mean, there are so many different subgenres that have been like popular throughout different decades. It's really interesting to see like what will end up connecting with fans. Like you and I right now, and I wish there were more, but I am obsessed with screen life movies. Like anything told from
Yeah,
the vantage point of like a computer or phone screen, I think it's just so fucking interesting. And I know it's
but
not specifically horror, but it's like thrillers.
but yeah, and like when you think of like movies like the Blair Witch Project, have you seen Blair Witch?
I actually have not the original.
It's, you almost look back and wonder, how did that movie get such acclaim, and like it was revered at the time. People were saying it's one of the scariest movie ever, and you watch it now and you're like, what are they talking about? Yeah, it's found footage, but there's just, I don't know. It's horror can, like, you look at this movie that's considered a cult classic, and you look at Blair Witch that came out that was all everyone could talk about. That's pretty much a dead movie now. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really enjoy. Like, I watched it last week at a horror movie event, and it just doesn't stick.
It's just not. I guess because now we've seen so many found footage. The concept back then, even if people like didn't say they thought this, part of the fear was like, is this real?
Yes, yeah.
You know. I do have to say, because I have seen the first three in this franchise, Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness. There's a lot of handheld. Maybe everything is handheld in this first one. By the third one, the cinematography is probably where you can tell the most improvement has been made in the franchise.
Well, they probably finally got some money.
Yeah, the budget in the third one is amped up, and I will say Sam Raimi, he puts it to good use.
I wonder if too, like, yeah, Evil Dead 2 was finally bought by a studio and like, all right, we're going to give you another chance. And whereas like, because it was kind of retconned, and and that's really where they saw it take off and say, okay, you know what, we got something here.
If people want, I think a commentary that we do on Evil Dead 2 could be very, very interesting. We might not even get to talk about like the actual scenes that much, because it seems like its connection to this first one and the way that they were made and it came to be is like our story in and of itself.
God, I wish we had done that blind.
Yeah.
Like, this one, like, literally it is a very much a horror movie. I mean, it's obviously a cheap horror movie, but like, this starts out kind of creepy, right? Like, they're in the woods.
For sure.
You're hearing dark voices right now, talk, the stop clock, all that. It again, for a low budget, I see what they were going for.
And once this thing ratchets up, it has the foot on the gas at 100 miles an hour for pretty much like the last hour of it.
And I love that, like, looking at this cabin, I'm thinking of exactly what you just said. How the hell is this cast and crew staying in here?
Oh God! I mean, the only thing I can think is they had like like they would just go sleep on the floor of this room when they were done filming.
I hate when this happens to me.
It's just a little derivative that work, Debbie. I mean, doesn't even look like anything you came up with.
Is this plagiarism? Like if a demon is possessing you and forcing you to.
I think so.
Is it
That's
like
the
he's like, hey,
demon's
that was
work.
like
You see this bitch
autographs
at
it.
every art gallery bragging about how she came up with the idea.
What I did.
That has happened to me several times, though. Like you're writing and you write so hard that you rip through the paper, and you're like, well, now I can't use these notes to cheat on my test.
God damn it. So is that was the book, right? Like I think it's a poorly drawn, but I'm assuming that's what it was.
Yeah, if we play Pictionary later, I don't want to be on her team.
Yeah. So these demons, I mean, clearly they don't need it. They need the recorder played to take physical form, but they're spiritually out there.
Yeah, so one thing the third one does is because Ash goes back. I won't spoil it for you, Cycly, because I know you haven't seen it, but he does go back to 1300 AD when the Necronomicon is like more. It's not necessarily contemporary, but the people he's with know sort of the lore of it, and there are several like enchantments it can perform based on what the user like. What words or spells they cast. So
okay.
I think whatever's on the tape is the one that is like the evil spirit possession. But there's some other options you have with it. That salad, by the way, too much dressing. Way too much.
Yeah,
dressing.
Absolutely. Also,
that's
this is
part of this movie is how much cholesterol.
Straight up Cabin in the Woods here.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I kind of want to rewatch Cabin in the Woods after watching this because I'm wondering how much I missed.
And Joss Whedon, I know, is very polarizing. Like some of his stuff is genius, and then obviously he has his real world issues. But some of his stuff just goes way over my head. Like I never really got the quote unquote genius and cult status that Buffy had. But I think Firefly is genius, and obviously the way he did the Avengers, I'm always a big fan of. But I think rewatching Cabin in the Woods, I might appreciate it more. When we first saw it, I had zero appreciation for it.
Yeah, I think I always liked it a little more than you. I don't think you had really taken too much out of it.
It's like a smart man's horror movie masquerading as like a kind of run of the mill or slasher.
Very meta horror comedy, like
right.
Just a movie within itself kind of thing. Like, I mean, yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, but I mean, they literally go to the cat. Like, I mean, that's another thing why I wanted to watch this franchise. Like, is this the OG teenage Cabin in the Woods type of movie? Like,
yeah, I mean, if you don't, I think the first Friday the 13th. Let me see what year that came out. I don't know if you count that.
Yeah,
they're at a camp.
They're at a camp. I guess technically that's, but I was thinking of like a group of friends take a weekend trip kind of thing. That's not too far removed from Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that Friday the 13th, the original one came out months before this in 1980. And actually, the interesting thing about the original one is that Camp Crystal Lake is closed but about to open. So in the movie, they're like it is kind of like an abandoned area that they're at.
Maybe this is. I think I've said it on the pod before, but up and down, I think Friday the 13th is the most overrated of all horror franchises. It just never has stuck with me. Like
there's just nothing different about its installments, really.
Yeah. Michigan State and cool play in this one.
Yeah, and every time we see Linda played by someone else, she's repping that.
I always felt like she's wearing a neck brace here. Like that is the most ridiculous turtleneck. Did you hurt your neck in the car?
She looks like a middle linebacker in a Big Ten game.
In the 80s. Yeah.
Try and run the ball up the A gap on me, bitch.
I don't care if you call me a pussy. Like, I will never go in a basement like this by myself. I'll be like, you're coming with me.
What do we have to gain? I mean, let's do the risk versus reward. Risk, I die, or I'm scarred for life if I survive. Reward, like what's the coolest thing we're gonna find down there?
Yeah, we're gonna do this together. One time at an Airbnb in Cincinnati, no, Louisville, we found, you know, those 80s ab exercise machine, it like puts a belt around your abs and it's like,
I think so. Yeah.
I'm talking about, they had one of those, and we just all were really drunk and all used it, and I came out with a six pack. It was amazing.
Nice. So it did work.
It does work. Yeah, absolutely. He is such a. I think it's an interesting because I know he is the mainstay of the franchise. Obviously, didn't know this going. I mean, I knew he was the main character for all of them going into this, but it's interesting because they really make him kind of timid and cowardly in this one.
Yeah, and by the end of the third one, he could not be further from that.
Yeah, and he definitely develops that in the second one with the when he accepts his fate kind of thing.
I mean, he essentially is just like I'm desensitized to this stuff pretty quickly. Like after I've killed a few dead people, I feel like I can handle them. This is a massive basement.
Yeah. Every time I look, I'm like, Jesus, this poor crew. Because they weren't changing the set back to a normal cabin every night.
No, man. That's the thing. Like when you, the thing that, and we'll get into this later with all the blood and gore. Part of the thing with the budget is like a lot of this stuff we have one take. Like we only have so many heads we can explode, and then cleaning it up and like resetting the shot. So the pressure they must have felt like we got to get this right now because otherwise it's not going to be in the movie.
This basement keeps going.
This reminds me of Barbarian.
I know.
Just like traverses and goes on and on and on.
She's like down there. She's like, you took a wrong turn. Actually, I'm doing my own movie over here. How did he get there?
Yeah, he's just been walking around. So in the retcon in part 2, obviously this tape recorder is just like in the guest room.
Yeah, they very much sped it along by being like, oh, look what we found.
The shotgun, though, is going to become a staple that Ash will never leave home without.
He's the only one I don't recognize anyone else.
Is that a The Hills Have Eyes poster on the wall? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I think you're right.
It's like kind of ripped up.
Is Hills Have Eyes that old? When was it?
Well, the one we saw was a remake.
Yes, no, I know, but like,
Let me look.
I'm curious when the original of that one was.
That the remake one has one of the most harrowing scenes in any movie I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah, 1977.
Yeah, that must be it, right?
Yeah. Huh. Oh, Wes Craven did that too.
The remake?
Yeah, no, the original. Now I'm intrigued in watching that.
Shit. Wow, that must be like one of his first movies.
These jokes are so weird. Looks like your old girlfriend.
All right, you got me. You got me. Boom, roasted.
Yeah, I don't care what kind of tape. Yeah, find a book like this and I'm like, I don't need to listen to this.
Why read it when you have the book on tape? You know, that's what everyone always says.
What would be a fun gag is to like get like if we all had an Airbnb and get there early and plant something like this and just fuck with your friends.
That actually
like, guys, look what I found.
The Cycle, you've seen the brand new one, Evil Dead Rise, right?
Yes.
All the way through. The Necronomicon in that, does it look similar to this one? It kind of changes like size throughout some of
the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's more the paintings are much more elaborate in the drawings of like the demons and yeah, and then the tapes they're not tapes, they're records. And the kid who finds them's a DJ or trying to be like a DJ, and so he
isn't?
Yeah, and he finds them, and he starts trying to spin it, and he's like, "Whoa, what is it actually saying?"
I think Linda was actually trying to turn off the tape player and Ash grabbed the hand. No, I wasn't trying to hold your hand. Like, I'm fucking creeped out.
He puts it on his crotch. She's like, "That's not okay."
This isn't like we just killed this party dead, guys. Let's at least smoke some pot.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I'm not drunk enough for this. I wonder too, like how far after this was from The Exorcist, because was this playing off of any popularity of like? I don't even know. Is Exorcist the first possession horror?
When did Rosemary's Baby come out?
Yeah, that's a good question. Rosemary's Baby, and then there was. There's a lot of like devil-esque things.
Exorcist was 73, so definitely
an inspiration. This is well later, yeah.
Rosemary's Baby was 68.
Damn. Yeah, here's look at his high budget. These are like really good Halloween decorations.
I was gonna say we got to like rotate this into the Halloween, array of movies.
I'm gonna go to like Lowe's and see this in their Halloween section soon.
Scotty, you knew not to play that. I don't know, Ash. You weren't really like putting up a fight.
You both brought it in.
Yeah, Scotty, damn it!
I had nothing to do with it. He said he calls him out. You said you could have shut it off anytime.
Okay, well, good point. Now she's not in the mood. Oh, we can get Linda in the mood.
And I love it. They probably had to break this glass in real life, and so they had to keep this open all the time they were sleeping in there.
I think
a
reason I like the third one, I get a little bit claustrophobic after watching 1 and 2 because they all take place in this cabin.
God, yeah.
Like, doesn't 2 there's like one in the beginning, he gets like blown away for a second, but pretty much 90% of the movie is back in this cabin, and it's not a big cabin.
No, it's like 3 rooms.
And then, of course, the 400 square yard basement.
So was he? Yeah, okay. This is a like
the way he the way he gives this to her, but then doesn't give it to her. It's like really bizarre. He pretends to be asleep. Oh no, this ring box or this jewelry box is on my knee. It's a shame if you touched it and moved your hand up my thigh.
And it's amazing how I was awake literally 10 seconds ago.
And now it appears I've been drugged or tranquilized.
Who does he look like? Like I don't know, man. He looks like
he's got a hell of a chin. Bruce Campbell.
Maybe he looks like Jay Leno. Maybe because of the chin.
Yeah. Him, I read in one of my Horns fun facts. Him and Sam Raimi went to high school together, and they were good friends.
So did they come up with this idea together? Just like
it's a great question. I don't know.
He's being so weird.
I'm kidding. I totally wasn't asleep.
Oh man, you got me.
Yeah, I figured because I walked away for 11 seconds. Unless you have narcolepsy, which actually, Linda, I've been meaning to talk to. I do have narcolepsy.
I would do that during the whole possession thing. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to fake being asleep this whole time. They're not going to. Not really part
of all the things to fake.
Oh, what's happening? I've been asleep. I'm sorry. That's not that cool of a necklace. It's kind of creepy, honestly.
I don't want to be that guy, but it's kind of ugly.
And also, like, that it doesn't go with the turtleneck. You can't even see her neck in that thing. Come on. I don't think she actually likes it.
No, she hates it. She's returning this thing the second we get back.
God, the group text with the girls are going to be blowing up. She's like, guys, he failed. Look what he got me.
Oh my God, Linda, you have to leave him. Yeah, I mean, as soon as this demon possession wears off, I'm leaving him.
Actually, I'm going to feign possession just to get out of wearing this. That's how much I don't like this necklace. Oh no, I'm possessed by the devil.
Yeah, she uses that fake possession as a reason. I lost the necklace when I was possessed by Satan. Babe, the lengths you go to hide my gifts. This first person shot was something that was very popular early 70s because Friday the 13th uses the hell out of this thing. And obviously Halloween does it, the first Halloween.
And then you got to get the boobs, of course.
Right.
It's not a 70s, 80s horror movie.
Coney boobs, staple of the 70s. Like, she's obsessed with that drawing. Who's going to tell her that it's not going on the fridge?
She just puts it up there. Like, who put this up here?
I thought maybe this would be nice for us all to look at while we're here at the cabin. You just made that decision on your own. We're going to consult any of us.
Yeah, see, again, these people are always braver than me. I just close the curtains, just get under the covers, wait it out.
Hide from your problems is what I do here.
Yeah, she's way too brave. I'm all for female empowerment, man, but you know what? I'm staying in my room.
Yeah, this is one of the dumber decisions. And when this tree attacks her here in a second, it's pretty wild.
Jesus. This is actually, I think I had read about the scene coming up for the first time on Reddit, just about like, kind of like, it's pretty fucked up when you really think about what's happening to her.
Yes, it is.
You see, at this point, just turn around.
Right. I mean, first off, have you ever seen any outdoor environment with that much natural fog? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It does get smoky. Actually, I was about to say it does get quite foggy out in this area, but I forget this is taking place. This is actually filmed and taking place in East Tennessee, where I live. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So it does get foggy here. There are some really creepy ass mornings.
Where the moon lights it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, at this point, like, what are you going to wander a mile away from the cabin? I heard a noise, so I walked to Iowa.
And what do you think is going to happen here? What's your best case scenario?
Yeah. Again, risk reward.
Yeah.
Guys, there was a killer with a machete, but I found him. Okay.
I walked out to the woods all by myself. I yelled out that I know you're out there.
And he got scared of that.
Yeah. And I said, I want to speak to your manager.
If she really wants to, like, turn the table, scare the demons, be like, I actually drew a picture I'd like you guys to see. No.
It's terrible.
Oh, God, the shading is all wrong. I always wonder, like, what when he goes to the first person shot and he's like moving through the woods, is it just like wind or is it like an actual like monster or something?
I was
like,
thinking it's like a demon who just can't be seen, or a spirit.
Okay, I'll buy that.
I think they just knocked the same sticks over. Like, I think they literally knocked the same branches 2 scenes later. Like, we're so low budget. Like, just find 2 big branches on the ground.
Like, this would be so fun to film. Like, the people are just holding the sticks out.
That's exactly. It's a really fucked up scene, but it's actually how they're filming. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. This scene is redone. Is it the second one that they sort of redo this with a different person? Is it the archaeologist gets like kind of trapped? Or is it this happening in the third one? Because I know this happens again in one of the other 2 movies. Yeah, this is rough.
Fucking raped by the forest, man. This is an ambitious scene for a $400,000 movie in 1983.
Maybe this is why we've been destroying the planet, because they did this stuff to us.
This is M. Night probably getting the idea for The Happening right now. He's like, what if plants fought
Hear me
back?
out.
Yeah, this is like they really slow play this, and like.
Yeah, this one made me uncomfortable when I saw it for the first time. Why do the trees care? Like, they can't have like sexual urges.
Well, looks like they are.
I don't like this.
Well, that's what a horror movie's supposed to do.
I would say this must have been a tough pitch to the studio, but there was no studio.
Yeah, so. Exactly. There's no one to tell them, hey, maybe dial back, or maybe don't really go slow on this scene. I mean, probably one of the most fucked up parts of a horror movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, The Exorcist, she like kind of stabbed herself.
Didn't she like masturbate with a
with the cross? Like, things that I honestly, I'm like, man, the 70s and 80s were really like Wild West. They were putting some fucked up shit out there.
Yeah. That's not a scene I think you could get in a movie now.
Which is funny that like people act like, especially a horror, like we're so desensitized to these kind of things. Yeah, mentally you're like not going to recover from that.
So one thing that I do think is interesting in these movies is like after an incident with the Necronomicon or like something with one of the demons, the possession usually isn't immediate.
And it's also, this is probably one of the first movies I've seen, or even the couple of them, that it comes and goes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, part of like the deception of the spirits is like, they'll act like, oh, I'm not possessed now. You can let me out. Like in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, I believe you. They do that in the newest Evil Dead.
That's like really creepy. Or like right as you're about to kill the host body, they'll be like, no, it's me again. I'm fine.
Hey, remember that one time we
got corn dogs? Yeah. Don't murder me. Don't chop my head off. We did actually get corn dogs once. It was very fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, pretty just like, dude, they like that whole scene was at least 5 full minutes of.
Yeah.
just them terrorizing this. Honestly, like to me, that this whole part was obviously the rape was really fucked up, but just the horror elements of what just happened is so much more frightening than when we get actual possession. And I get that it's 1981, and I get that it's a completely low budget film, but I don't know how you could look at these demons and get actually freaked out. It's so ridiculous.
And even like the gore, it's so over the top that it's like not
Yes.
even visceral anymore. You're like, okay, well, humans don't have like gallons and gallons of blood that like shoots out of them.
And can they just not are they like being they just can't
Yeah,
hear
the
her
cabin's
yelling?
not that big. It's not like you're like, oh, I was upstairs 4 rooms over. Like, there's 80 feet max in this place. Like, you could easily get to the door.
Are they all just banging, and that's why?
And then his reaction, like grabbing her arm there, is a little weird too.
I do like too, like the demons are not foolproof, right? Like they're not just like these unbelievable beings that can do whatever that you
Right.
kind of get in
They
the newer
certainly
possession type movies.
Yeah, they gain like some extra abilities, but they're definitely like killable.
You can hurt them,
Which is what makes a good villain. Like, I don't want it to be like every time we attack them, they're just impenetrable. They're like the, 95 cowboys. You can't do anything to them. She's like, I don't know how to tell you this. I got raped by a tree, so we need to leave.
You think they're like, you're making this up? So like, you think I would want to say that out loud?
Something that hyper specific? You think I have that kind of imagination? I know that my drawings are really good, but my creativity does not expand beyond the sketchbook.
So this is his sister, right?
Possibly. I can't remember. Don't get too attached, because they don't even exist once the second one starts.
They should have at least made a reference to it where he's like, I used to have more friends than a sister. I don't know what happened. It's a cool shot, actually, of them in the doorway.
Now, the bridge, which is like decaying, in the second one, I believe, the Necronomicon spirits like rip up the actual like structure of it, right? That's why they can't leave.
I think it's the same here, right? Is it not?
I can't remember. I just remember the visual for sure in the second one where it almost looks like a...
The beams are like straight up in the air.
Right, it looks like a claw, basically.
And then a random hillbilly just standing out there like, you trying to get to the cabin?
Chewing tobacco. God, the light inside that cabin, is it like...
Yeah,
is it the bat signal?
What kind of power are they?
She said it's not going to start in the Necronomicon just to fuck with it. It was like, okay, we'll let him start the car.
So he was like, oh, you think it won't? Okay. Then say something like, we're definitely going to die right now and not make it home safe.
We're not going to win the lottery, Ash.
He's like, fuck. They figured it out.
All right, they left. Now let's have a threesome.
He kind of actually seems pumped about it. He's like, oh. Again, that light. What the hell?
I know, it's blinding.
I don't know where the closest town is. Like, where are you even going?
So is the plan that they're just going to leave their friends at the cabin without a vehicle? See ya, walk off.
How much this, when they show them in the car, they show the car like bumping. They're just like on the side pushing the car up and down.
That's the crew's job. Again, lighting this is so hard.
Who's lighting?
I know.
Why is no one concerned that there's a giant light pointing at my face?
It's weird. It's like a fisheye lens too that we're looking at him through. This is bizarre too. I said I was raped by the wilderness, and you're just gonna walk off. I thought I saw a bunny rabbit. That isn't like a good excuse.
Oh my god, I love bunnies.
You should have said something.
Yeah, like if your sister is clearly fucked up, and then you just leave her alone in the woods.
Yeah, he's not gonna win Brother of the Year. Yeah, I don't blame her for being a little scarred anytime a tree branch juts out in front of her.
How is she ever going to look at nature again if she survived the night?
She can't even watch Guardians of the Galaxy because Groot just.
Oh God, fucking Groot.
Oh, you're right. So the Necronomicon already did its shit to the bridge.
So again, they can bend steel, but they're
rusted steel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's rusted steel.
3 tons load limit. Oh, guess your mom couldn't get on it. Boom, roasted. So, in the second one, again, I'm not here to pick apart these movies, but how do they explain the archaeologist lady and her team getting to the cabin with the bridge destroyed?
The hillbilly and his girlfriend show her a trail.
Okay,
and $100.
And they can't take that trail out?
No, of course not.
Okay. I only know it in. Well, it would be the same trail.
That's why he wanted $100. He's like, because once I'm there, I'm stuck there.
I'm stuck forever.
I don't blame her for being upset. See, why would you go back and play the tapes?
I was going to say, look, I know all our problems started when we played this tape, but why doesn't everybody relax? Tom's chopping some wood outside, and we'll play it again instead of just going to bed.
We'll cancel out the first time we played it. It can't hurt us twice. That's a cool headphones for 1981.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a piece of technology.
Oh yeah, this is
fucking with her.
I did it. He's like, yeah, that's
good job, Linda.
Truly amazing.
That's a really transferable skill. Oh yeah, no, this is the possessed chick, right?
Yeah, this is kind of good.
She's like, well, that's no fun. You're just reading them. What if she's like, I'm not actually psychic. I'm just standing behind you.
She's looking at the reflection in the glass. She's like, guys, I'm not actually. Like, honestly, now that I'm rewatching this after watching the second one, I actually respect this one a little more because it is at least trying to be true horror.
Yeah, I think this one, you and I said this off pod, I think. I don't think this movie is in on the joke yet.
No.
They were going for something like over the top, gory, violent, bloody, and then certainly like creepy with the elements of possession.
I mean, there's definitely some moments like like the go to hell. I'm not honking at you. And there's a scene later on with one of the demons that is, I literally was cackling, laughing because of how ridiculous it is. But I don't think that was the intent, right? Like I think they were going for something really unique to the genre. Ugh, look at that hand, God.
Yeah, I get definite Muppet vibes.
And if there's not a shower, what do they do when they put this makeup on every day?
Oh, this part was gross, actually. Like, ew.
Oh yeah, fuck. Oh yeah.
Like of all the gore, that's one of the ones that looks.
Me and my wife were like, God damn it, no.
Yeah, so she does have like when you're possessed, I would say maybe like 2 times your normal strength.
Yeah. And look at that hand is swollen as fuck.
She lost some teeth in the possession process.
Well, yeah, the demon is British, so
hello, I'm possessed now, ain't I?
I get it. I have bad teeth.
I have bad teeth. You could get that bookshelf off you pretty easily.
Yeah, no, I would actually act like I'm saying, oh no, you guys have to fight this demon thing.
Locking her in the basement is like one of the best plot devices in this because they like let her like open it up a little bit so she can be part of the conversations.
Did you say this? She's like the Statler and Waldorf fight.
Yeah, she's like heckling them the rest of the time. Shut up, Betsy.
Dude, her makeup changed. Like she was so much like, I think they should have. Again, I guess that they were going for, but like again, maybe that's just me being the type of fan I am. She was much creepier when she was still human, and there was the possession change.
Yeah,
this like the mask or whatever makeup she has on. It's so ridiculous.
She's just gonna like peek her head through for the rest of the night.
Hey, what are you guys doing? You guys gonna play a board game?
Because they basically just like carry on with the rest of their night now. Well, that was weird, huh?
Yeah, they really do kind of just like move on from that. She's like, I'm gonna sleep. Like, oh, you are? You're just gonna.
Even though our friend's possessed by Satan and is in the basement trying to get out. Yeah, I got to get my 8 hours.
Like, that's all well and good, but that's in the past. I'm living for tomorrow.
Wow, that's deep.
Like, we can't change what happened. It's been 5 minutes. How can you even sleep comfortably?
Sounds like you just fucking hated her in the first place.
I can't even go to bed within 5 minutes after just a normal night.
He's like, what are you guys talking about? Like, just would you fucking relax?
They like so casual. I would not even
like
be
looking
in that
at
room.
Yeah.
Hey,
Listen, if we're gonna have dessert, I would still like a piece of pie.
Honestly, I'm
I
burning a lot
think
of
we
calories.
ought to get out of here. Oh, okay. I could see the rationale behind that, wanting to leave.
I wish the girl, she's like, no, don't go. We're having so much fun.
It would be funny though if they did like they're playing like a drinking game and they do include her. What do you want? A seltzer?
Yeah. You want something hard?
I'll take just like a red wine is fine actually.
It's really good. You gotta
Why
let the
does she keep
tannins
making
breathe.
those horrible noises? I don't know if you've noticed. She is the living dead.
She's possessed.
Like, was she not here when she attacked everyone and stabbed the chick in the ankle?
I think they just have very terrible memories.
I was gonna say I don't expect you to like react normally to this, but you've just like forgotten. That's not something you forget easily. Remember the time that Stacy got possessed by the Necronomicon and oh yeah, I do.
Oh my
remember that.
god. Hey, what's with Stacy right now? Look at her eyes.
Forgot about that.
They are so calm. Like so chill.
They're all processing it in their own way here. This guy's like, look, I chopped this wood. We're fucking using it. I was out there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we can worry about Stace tomorrow. And
look,
stop going to the windows, guys.
Possessed Stacy isn't going anywhere.
It makes me think of one of my favorite movies, Shaun of the Dead, where at the end, his best friend gets possessed, or not possessed, but he becomes a zombie, but they still play, like, the movie ends with them playing video games.
He's, like, chained up, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they should do at Stacy.
He's like, well, we still have this campaign in Halo that we have to beat. It's not like that thing's just going to end.
I think you and I would be like that in NCAA 06.
Dude, next time we are together, not at the resort that we're going to, I was watching online. This is totally random, non sequitur, but there was an arena football league game that came out in 2006.
My God.
And it's all the same controls and gameplay as the NCAA football game we love, but it's 7-on-7. And I bought it. It's for PS2, and I bought it yesterday on eBay for $6.
That's amazing. Are the Tulsa Talons on it?
I think they might be.
Oh yeah.
But so it's like there's a 3-man offensive line. So like
dude, Josh Blankenship might be the quarterback.
Dude, he might be. So the way we played, you could be the linebacker in blitz, and I could be the safety in blitz. But the field is so small, like we would dominate on defense. I feel like.
Dude, that'd be so fun. Yeah, I'm in. Just bring the whole thing to Mexico.
Okay. Can you imagine if we just stayed in the room and played that the whole time?
Our wives would be like, "This is so typical. This is so annoying."
Babe, it's great. Since it's all free, they'll just bring the drinks to the room.
Yeah. Like he's like, we're not getting our deposit back. God damn it. The Airbnb instructions were really clear.
Do you think we can say that the window was like this when we showed up?
What? No. Yeah, no, it was definitely.
Also, the cleaning fee for all the blood, we're not going to pay that because you didn't tell us that there was a Necronomicon in the basement.
Yeah, and that's clearly a state in the terms and conditions that if there is one, you have to tell us.
Mm-hmm. If there's a fleshbound book that summons the living dead and possesses us and our friends, that has to be in the features of the house.
Yeah, Shelly's not going to be okay, guys.
I feel bad because they had to film, 98% of this at night. And so lighting this cabin, it's so hard to make anything look organic. Like they have to have basically spotlights on everything.
Yeah.
This is not how like a cabin would look if you're walking through it. But again, how are they supposed to film it?
When you were talking about your fun fact, do you know how many days this took to film?
That's a great question.
It has to be in like a really low number, relatively speaking.
How long was the first Saw? Like 11 days?
Yeah, something like that. Look at that bathtub. Jeez. Ugh. Why does everyone keep falling asleep?
He's like, she didn't go to bed.
Ash is just like, yeah, woo.
You guys are into some
Stacy
shit.
Oof. Ash is so chill. Look at him in the background. He's like, He's like, this is another night just like this.
Yeah, so this is where she's playing the oh, never mind. She's not acting like she's normal again.
Yeah. He's like, they're actually not hot coals. They're wood that I chopped outside.
I just love how she's like a part. The chick in the basement is like a part of this, but like not really.
She's like, I'm cheering from the sidelines.
So is Linda just still sleeping through all this? I mean, she is a sound sleeper.
I like that. Stacy's gonna be like, we won the game. And they're like,
He's like, the irony of being burnt in a fire where I chopped all the wood myself. We know you chopped the wood, Chris.
I just would like recognition at any point.
Pointed it out except me. Well, if you'd give us a second to. Where did this blade come from? Did she have that?
It's like a saw. Jeez. Ugh. Like that makeup is so extreme.
Oh, that's a nice little knife.
And dude, what the fuck? Why is Ash not helping at all?
Oh, a little homage to the what he does in the second one when he has to cut his hand off.
Ash, do something. God damn it. He's just like, I just really want to watch.
He's like, what? Fascinating. How high are we? Oh, we didn't even smoke? Then this is pretty fucked up, actually.
They're both just like morbidly curious, like watching what she's doing. The hand gag in the second one is just a whole other level.
Oh, that's actually pretty creative. The stab from the back.
Et tu, Brute. Is this hold on, this might be the whole, like, this is insane. I think we get like 30 seconds, 45 minutes of screaming. And Ash is just like, oh my God.
Well, it's like that sword, I don't think anyone brought it from home. I think that's the demon that brought it in here.
This is such an elaborate long scene. Still going. I really wish I had timed this. Still going.
Showing no signs of stopping.
Nope. I think we're well over 30 seconds right now.
That's to say, the liquid blood budget for this movie is pretty substantial. The scene at the coming up where they kill the chick in the basement, I mean, it's like a fucking geyser goes off.
Dude, and this is what I'm saying. What are you doing? Like, scene's over. Let's go to bed.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
These are one takes, man. Like, you cannot fuck these up. The amount of rehearsal time they must do on this, because they can't, again, get a second take, must have been insane.
And that's probably why it feels so gimmicky, because they only had one take they couldn't get it perfect.
They're like, if we don't, we're gonna have to. Coverage must have been an issue too. Like,
this is so good.
The chick in the basement though, she's like a Cameron crazy. Like she brings the energy the entire time.
Look at Ash, man. Like this whole movie, like he is just so timid.
He's like, give me the axe that I chopped the firewood with earlier. Remember?
Remember? God damn.
And the way I'm chopping her head right now is very similar to how I was cutting the wood.
Is Ash just in shock? I mean, like.
Oh God. Look at all the artistic choices. I'm appreciating this a little bit more on the second watch.
I actually am too, very much so. I think also because I watched the second one, which I felt like. Then I went on Reddit afterwards, and everyone seemed to like the second one more.
No, I don't. The second one's my least favorite so far.
Yeah. It was too much.
See, now it's 7 monsters instead of just 1. See,
this is a Halloween.
Kind of how I chop the wood.
Like, this would be a hilarious Halloween decoration just have in front of your house. Look at this dismembered body
just,
that's
wiggling on the ground.
Vibrating. He's like, oh, is this going to stain? I would be so mad at Ash if that was my friend. I'd be like, dude.
I put my card down for the deposit. Now we're fucked.
Now he's just back to the wall. No, she's necessarily fine. It's a flesh wound. What if Stace came? Like, Stace, what's your opinion? What should we do? Stacey, you're being awfully
Linda
quiet
wakes
over there,
up.
baby.
So what the fuck happened?
Oh my God, we got so fucked up last night.
Honestly, Linda, you didn't miss much.
Yeah, how long burying? I mean, that's the physical labor involved here between chopping the wood and now burying. God, he's got to be exhausted.
The recap in the beginning of the second one, like it's like Warp Speed, where his girlfriend dies and then he just like has that makeshift cross already ready to go on her grave.
Yeah.
The good thing I made this earlier out of sticks.
You never know when you might need it.
Yeah, that. He just like prepares it. Again, back to the first person shot, of course.
Yep. Yeah, that feels so Halloween.
How would Linda sleep through that? She must have taken like an Ambien or something. Yeah, see this one, like, to Raimi's credit, it's playing it earnestly. Like, these guys are legitimately like, how do we escape? If this were the second one right now, they'd be making like quippy one-liners, which I know is what a lot of people love about the franchise. It was just harder for me to resonate with that.
Yeah, leave her here. Ooh. That's, man. Hey, you know what? He wanted honesty in the relationship. You're going to stand back there and not participate and hold the axe while your friend is getting attacked. Then...
He's like, all it would have taken is a thank you for chopping the wood. And then I would have been in fully invested. Like, we're still on the fucking...
I'm not even leaving because of the demons. I'm leaving because you stabbed me in the back.
The demons, that's fine.
Me.
I can deal with that. I actually expected that to happen. You did?
You know what the real demon is, Ash?
Our lack of gratitude.
The way he looks at Stacy, he's like, oh God.
You need to get possessed by some manners.
Stacy would be like really funny. She's like, hey, still here. Hanging out. Want to play some Connect 4?
They have Connect 4?
This guy would have to have Connect 4.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have a book that summons the living dead into people's spirits, you better also have a pretty sick game closet.
I love that Ash's bruise. Oh, yeah, this fucked up. Ash's bruise is clearly her eye makeup.
No. So the pencil wound is what infected her.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, see, then don't go out into the woods. She's fine, Ash.
I think we're learning, just based on the sample size, that the lone person wandering off into the woods is probably not going to be an effective strategy.
No. God. She's kind of creepy. See, I just think that's more effective. Like, just the human look being possessed rather than that elaborate makeup.
I agree.
Yeah, you're going to be okay. You're fine.
So Ash at this point is not going to be, like, he knows what the deal is, right? This isn't like some role-playing. She's legitimately possessed now. He's like, look, maybe Cheryl was right this one time, but even though she's possessed by a demon, we can't let her know. She'll never let us hear the end of it.
Oh, my God.
Ash is like, look, I'll level with you. Some of us are going to die, and if I
some of us have died.
If I had to put a leader in the clubhouse right now, you would be one of the favorites, right? I'm probably sitting on the lower end in terms of odds.
This whole scene is making me think of that scene in Airplane where they're all slapping that woman who's like panicking, and there's like a whole line of people like waiting to slap her. It's like a nut.
I wonder if that took homage from this. Yeah, here she is like heckling them. Overrated.
Oh, now another person's gonna die. Oh, how horrible.
Actually, his makeup looks pretty good too. Give the makeup team a lot of credit here.
Look,
I mean,
I keep thinking about the shower thing you said. They couldn't even shower every day. What the hell are they doing?
Yeah, that's not a I don't know if there's any real way to track this, but like you have to think this movie has probably made a lot. I mean, I hope that they all had some. They probably didn't, but I hope they all had some way to actually like profit off the success of this in the franchise.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I kind of doubt it. Such a, again, unintended humor here. I don't think this is what he was. But yeah, the question is how much, because what did this end up doing in box office terms? Do you know?
Oh, no idea, but it can't be much.
Let's see. Budget 4 oh, sorry. The budget was 375. Box office 2.7 million.
Damn. So that's I can't imagine it had that big of a marketing.
29.4 worldwide, but I'm assuming that's like in re-releases and things like that.
I bet this thing crushed on DVD.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, dude, like like this is like I said, this is considered a cult classic. Like, I said this to you. I don't know if you've ever gone to a showing, but if you haven't, Rocky Horror Picture Show is it's an audience involved event, right? Like everyone's in on the joke and the gag of the movie. People are literally throwing things at the screen, right? Yelling, booing, hissing, yelling like slut, all this kind of stuff. It's just an experience. And this is what this felt like to me. Like I would absolutely go to like a horror fest with a bunch of people who are in on this movie.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Watching this by myself as like, ooh, one of my favorite scary movies is Evil Dead. Like, no, I don't think I would ever be like, I'm not going to watch this like I do Saw or Scream or, Strangers.
Well, and that's why when you watch it, I was like, this actually might be a really fun commentary because it's like it just evokes a lot of like interesting ideas and like thoughts about just like the underdog filmmaking and like what turns these into cult classics. Like there are a lot of elements in this movie that I've seen in a ton of other movies that just are nowhere near as popular as The Evil Dead and don't have any longevity. So it's like what is the difference? What strikes a chord with people?
It's absolutely true. I mean, what was the movie you alluded to? Shopping Mall, or there was another one?
Right, Shopping Mall. I think Shopping Mall is so much more fun than this, but it has a little bit of a cult following. But this one is like
nothing like this.
It dwarfs it.
It doesn't have 5 movies, a TV show, and a video game. The oh no, I forgot what I was gonna say.
He's really kind of enjoying chewing that thumb.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm actually not even holding you. You are holding me.
Yeah. Can you stop? This hurts. His acting, I mean, again, it's interesting that he got probably because he was Sam's friend, but like, right. I actually feel like he's definitely, I mean, maybe it's on purpose, the weakest actor in this.
Well, and especially in the third one, I think he delivers probably his best performance of the 3 because I just feel like he's directed better. Like Sam knows what he wants Ash to do a lot more.
Yeah, that's
the second one, especially tonally. I don't think they had the comedic part fully figured out yet. In the third one, it just like it clicks. It's like I think I made the allusion to you in Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he realizes that his Dracula musical is a comedy.
Yes.
And like how to like pull that out of the source material. That's what happens in the third one.
I just like I love this demon because this demon's not even trying like physically to fuck with him. She's like I'm just gonna have fun. I just want to make this as funny on him. Like she's not trying to attack him. She's I've
seen that happen to people at Applebee's when they do their $2 beers. They just drag them out and they're like, "You fucking stay here."
$3 margs.
Yeah.
Last time I was at an Applebee's, couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know. Maybe college? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that's working.
Yeah, maybe you're not drinking water because you're dead.
Ash suddenly like realizing he's been in denial. Well, maybe not, Linda.
1 for you and 1 for me. But actually 2 for me because I'm still alive.
I get the level of panic with these people is so low. It's impressive.
I think his mind right now is trying to sort out like, all right, what's our level of things we're concerned about here? Linda's still outside. That one bitch is in the basement. Who knows what she's doing?
I think
Maybe
she's
she found the
perfectly
board games.
content.
You know what? It's not that bad down here. It's actually pretty spacious. Oh, Jesus.
It's a very big, yeah.
It's like, fuck, that actually looks kind of cool.
But I like that demon because like that demon like really bided its time, just sitting there being all playful, and now it's like beyond fucked up, licking the bloods. Yeah.
Do you think that was like grape jelly? It looked like it had consistency of it. Scott's like, can I not just die on this couch? My God. I chopped all the wood.
You know that scene where she's not even supposed to lick the sword. She just loves grape jelly that much.
Yeah.
She's like, no, it's so good. How?
Well, that's a little weird, actual actress. Yeah. Ooh, a little teamwork, huh?
Ooh, Stacy's like, ooh, I can get involved.
I just made a weird connection. The zombie chick in the basement, her makeup kind of looks like in Home Alone when Marv gets electrocuted.
Dude, oh my God.
What he looks like.
So funny that you mentioned Home
one?
Alone. I literally, when I was watching the second one, almost texted you going, bro, this almost feels like I'm watching like a Home Alone. Like the gag of like all the traps, not traps, like way they're hurting the demons is so elaborate. Oh, now Stacy's mad. Now Stacy is not having fun in the basement.
So if you think about it, in the second one, very brief spoilers for Evil Dead 2, Dead Till Dawn, if you haven't seen it. So skip ahead 30 seconds. But Ash basically, because it starts in the morning, and he ends up trapped back in the cabin. So it's basically just back-to-back nights he has to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Now, he staged it to where it looked like he was reading. We all know he wasn't.
Yeah. He died doing what he loved.
Real page turner over here. The book is called How to Chop Wood.
I wouldn't be surprised at the minute if I told you I laughed. One of the only times I truly laughed in the second one was the farewell to arms when he loses when the demon loses the arm.
Oh yeah.
Look at this Stacy just having the head out. Like, hey.
So is he in the basement? Because that's where the other zombie is.
No, I think the shed now.
Oh, okay. Does he use the chainsaw in this one or just the second one?
Sad thing is, it's only been like 3 days since I've watched this, but now I can't remember.
Yeah, looking at my
letterbox.
Letterboxd.
Chainsaw in this. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, I asked that he fucking pulls it out. I'm gonna log this again as a rewatch. I will have watched 4 Evil Dead movies, if you count this as my 2 viewings as 2.
Considering we had never watched this franchise, yeah, we really.
I'm binging it.
I will respect it for how short it is. Like, I mean, they are easy watches.
Absolutely. And the third one to me goes by they're all like within 4 or 5 minutes in runtime, but to me that one went by the fastest of any of them. That actually might be the only one that I watched in one consecutive sitting. I had to pause it for like 10 minutes.
I think Evil Dead Rises, the newest one, is a little longer, but again, it's more traditional. But I also don't think it's like long. I think it's like an hour 36 or something.
This is a rare moment where, like, despite all this fucking mayhem, he's like, you know what? I actually did have a relationship with one of these people.
He's good. Didn't you already try to do this? Yeah, it's 97 minutes, the newest one.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing. Well, and the newer ones, like, it probably has longer credits than these do because special effects.
Oh,
actually had, like, people working on it or a big enough.
The budget for the newest one was $15 million, made 146, so that's... Yeah, they'll keep making these movies. They're clearly cheap to make because, you know, they're again, I haven't seen the 2013 Evil Dead, but Evil Dead Rise is very much the same way. It takes place in an apartment building. It doesn't really elaborate on the setting.
Yeah, the closed quarters is really what helps build some of that tension.
Let's see, Evil Dead 2013, which I've heard really good. He had 92 minutes.
Bruce Campbell's in that one too.
It looks like it. I don't think he's in it. Like he's maybe he's an uncredited scene. He's in the post credits.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe that sets up his show.
Yeah, I might need to watch that after I watch the third one.
Is that the next one after Army of Darkness?
Yeah, 2013.
Oh wow. Okay. When did Army of Darkness come out? Let me look that one up.
I think 93.
Yeah, it felt like early 90s. Yeah, 92. Okay. He's like, Linda, I can't give you great real estate. We're running out of burial plots in the yard here, but I can get you decent spot.
Yeah, it's got a good view, you know.
When the spotlights roll in the middle of the night, you can see the moon.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's dark outside, yet it's very bright. This is an emotional scene.
The subtitles guy, which I know you have a soft spot for in your heart, captioned this with sighing disappointedly.
Isn't that any sigh? How you sigh provingly? I don't think you can.
Yeah,
Try
subtitle
and sigh
guy.
in a
Subtitle
positive
guy.
way.
When subtitle guy typed that though, he was like, "Nailed it."
God, it's redundant. I'm going to try and find a way to sigh positively.
No,
No, but it doesn't.
that was like a moan.
I like the attempt. It's I respect it.
These are pretty good makeshift crosses though that they put together.
I think he's found a new business for himself, you know?
He's like, the overhead will not be that much. I can pretty much put my work for myself, set my own hours.
He's like, oh, good. I still have the receipt from Claire's.
Like, don't return it. I like it.
You said you hated it. You texted Becky that you thought it was ugly.
I was joking. Well, it's not funny. You just let her carve up the leg.
God. Hey, Ash, fight back at any point. He's such a baby in this movie.
What the fuck is this? Like a steel rod?
That he can. Yeah, what is that?
She's
actually?
like changing her. She just throws up.
Well, that's because they drank too much. And that salad was all dressing.
Seriously, just too heavy.
She's getting off on it, dude. She likes it.
No, stop hitting me. Wait a minute. You sounded sarcastic.
Love the effects there. Ooh.
The way that she's told to like contort her body is really interesting. It's like rigid, but then it's also like very flexible. Oof! Good swipe.
She'll never become a head of a major corporation.
She'll never get ahead in life. All right.
Oh God, this is so disgusting. Like, yeah, dude. Again, how are you not showering every day if this is the scene? The amount of liquid. I hope there was like at least like a. And all of a sudden, where's the blood that was all soaked on him? He walked out of that completely dry. I don't think I noticed it the first time.
He just a quick outfit change. No. Now we're back.
Now would be he's back to being covered, but they just showed him completely dry. God, for a $375,000 movie, it's so low budget. Uh-oh, Stace got out. Who let Stacy out?
She needed to take a walk.
Yeah, she gets tired up there. It's musty in that basement. There's not a lot of airflow.
She was smelling even before she got down there, so I'm a little scared to see what she smells like now. It's like, who's leaving all the lights on? I mean, I know we don't own the house, but we're not animals.
Also, slow play by her. She's the only demon still around, you know? Like, she...
Being in the basement is, if you're a demon, is good for your survival.
Yeah, now he's finally starting to get a little bit of bravery.
He's like, I've killed a few of these things now.
See, this is where I don't look for the demon. Again, just go sit down, put your back against the wall, and just face one direction. Yeah, not a giant window.
Yeah, how long would that demon have been outside? Like, please walk by the window. Please walk by the window.
This is going to be so great. It's going to be totally worth it, I promise.
Maybe you should walk by the window.
Who said that?
Hello?
You wait, should I walk by the window? That's a good idea.
Some tells me I should walk by the window.
But I do like. But that is, again, I think you should rewatch Cabin in the Woods because that's exactly what Cabin in the Woods pokes fun at. Is like someone like, I will go to the shower upstairs by myself.
Right.
Like, why would you do
We
that?
should split up.
That hand is disgusting.
If I'm him, though, you just have to you and the demon have to fight at this point. Like we both know where this is going. All roads lead to this place. So you find out minor spoilers for Army of Dead. Skip ahead 30 seconds if you haven't seen it. And sorry, Cycling,
I'm really not worried about it.
So you find out in that one that Ash, his job in, like obviously this life, is he works at a sporting goods store. So he has a little bit of knowledge on like guns and like hunting equipment and stuff like that.
Okay. Sorry, this is not anything to do with what you said. I think we should do a commentary on Evil Dead 2, but invite like Banner.
Someone who hasn't seen it, yeah.
Blind, and tell them don't watch it, don't read anything about it. Like at all.
That would be hilarious.
Especially for the ending.
Tell them it's one of our favorite movies of all time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's horrible. It's scary. Like we weren't able to sleep that night we watched it. Now that might actually make Banner not want to do it.
Yeah, that's true. I think the third one is my favorite, and this one is second favorite, but this one is a lot better on a rewatch.
I absolutely 100%. Oh God,
that's just creepy.
That's a cool shot. I mean, like really, like this. Some of these scenes are, again, when you know the story, when you know the budget, no studio attached, like it's pretty.
So, when did The Shining come out? Because this is the months before this. Because the whole the scene in that where like the blood is like flowing down the hallway.
Yeah.
It gives me that same eerie vibe.
Cool shot, yeah. There's like, yeah, you're right. I feel completely different. I was like almost worried like I was gonna like it, like because I was going in like, wow, this is a cult classic, and it really didn't speak to me. It didn't really hit me.
Yeah.
But now that I'm watching it again, I feel like okay, now I could see why it's become a cult classic because, especially like I said, if you go to Halloween festivals or horror movie festivals, and you're with people who are in on this and like enjoying the ridiculousness of it, I can see how it grows, like the allure.
So I gave it a 2.5. I think I'm gonna up it to at least a 3 on Letterboxd after my.
I think that's fair. Yeah, that's probably about how I felt the first time and how I feel now. I mean, sincerely. Oh God.
I was gonna say the issue is he's not just fighting the demons; it's the actual book and the possession itself.
Yeah. I really rate this actually. I think now watching a second time above the original Friday the 13th. Like I really have just.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is more entertaining. There's times in the first Friday the 13th, like, dude, can someone get killed or something?
Oh my God, it's so slow. This is a cool shot. Yeah, there's so much more I respect right now. It's funny, just one rewatch.
Yeah, maybe it's like a frame of mind thing, or maybe it's like kind of knowing where the story's going. You can like appreciate the minutia of it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not minutia. This is all pretty on the nose.
But I'm actually really glad we decided to do this so soon after watching it for the first time, because if we hadn't, I could have seen myself really not revisiting it, other than like finishing the franchise.
That's true. I don't think I would have given this another chance for a while. This would be a cool movie to have like on in the background, like during Halloween or something.
Dude,
though.
I was actually just thinking that, like, I think I told you my tradition. You've seen the street I live on.
Yep.
Halloween's really big here. I always have horror movies playing on my patio where the kids come and get candy. We have like a fire going. I just pick random horror movies. This is definitely one I'll have this year.
Oh yeah. Kids nowadays would probably see this and laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't scare them at all.
It's always the parents who are walking their kids like, "Oh, you guys have Scream on? You have Halloween on?"
Just like let their kid go trick or treating. I want to watch this. Just come back. Don't get murdered or kidnapped.
All the parents anyway are walking with beers or soda or seltzers anyway. I guess that's why too they made him so timid at the beginning. He had to find his how he grows into this character.
It's funny because in the third one, even though it's like probably a matter of like days, he goes from like this to basically like irrationally confident. But I guess when you've killed some of the things he's killed, that will
when your 3 days have been that,
right,
then I think any normalcy
I killed like
you
30
had in your
deadites. Yeah. He made out, I mean, a lot better than he makes out in the second one.
Yeah.
Did that hurt?
Too.
Get that window.
It was actually.
As far as we have a window here that hasn't been destroyed yet.
It's just actually lemon juice, so all his cuts just burned. Like,
but at least
fuck.
Sanitized though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why we got a scream out of that. Like, what was that? Boiling water? Like, what was?
Maybe he just freaked out. He's like, I guess I would do that too if it was supposed to be a mirror and it ended up being water.
Yeah, but he stared at his hand.
Also, after all the shit he's seen tonight, that's like the 19th.
Yeah, like, does anything surprise you anymore?
He in the second one he's like constantly bleeding down his face.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a rougher night.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you have the hillbillies and the archaeologists or whatever come to the house and he gets beaten up even further, I'm like, dude, just die.
Yeah, he's very durable, I have to say. The deadites must be like, fuck, man, this guy takes a beating.
It's like they're hitting him worse than we did. I don't know, like, was this his grandma's? Like, he is very, like...
Oh, the necklace?
Yeah.
He tried to act like he bought it from, like, K Jewelers, but really, it was a hand down. We all know it.
The tagline for the 2013 Evil Dead is really ambitious. It's the most terrifying film you will ever experience. That's quite the...
Oof. The jaw.
Ooh,
Can't eat sunflower seeds now, at least on that side.
The demon's like, God damn it.
He's like, you know what? After all this, I'm going to block the door.
Yeah, there's no way they can get in. Don't mind this giant unopened window.
I really wanted to save this for like when things got really crazy, but I think it's time we put this end table in front of the door.
Just go to your right, demon. There's an open window.
Yeah, so the Deadite strength, I do have to say it's pretty consistent. It's not like sometimes they're like super strong and then other times it's like like they're about this is I think the grossest part in the whole movie.
Yes.
Oh god. But again,
I wonder, so this is alluding to like I'm getting this idea from the very last Black Mirror episode that recently came out, Demon 79.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe these are like junior demons where they're not like full strength yet. They're like baby demons. They're still figuring it out. And this is like a big test for them. Like if they fail this and go back to hell, they're going to get like banished. Like, wow, you couldn't even take on a couple of teenagers.
Yeah, I mean, they're allowed to make mistakes, but certain things that they do is going to show a lot about their decision-making ability.
Yeah.
Like this one, I can't remember her name. Shelly, maybe? She is very resilient. She has definitely been through the most.
Is she the one from the basement? Because I think that's Stacy.
Okay.
Or I don't even know.
Sorry, I think this is his sister who came out of the grave from the outside.
I don't even know which one's which anymore.
They all kind of blur together. Scott, dude, he's a fucking trooper too.
At some point, like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, how much fight do I really have? Do I really want to survive this?
Right.
What is even if I do survive,
what quality of life will I have? My leg got carved up pretty good. I can't even play slow pitch softball anymore.
Actually, there is no one named Stacy. I just kept calling that girl Stacy. It is Shelly.
Shelly?
Shelly, Linda, and Cheryl.
Okay. Linda is his girlfriend. Is Shelley his sister, and then Cheryl's Scott's girlfriend?
Yeah, Linda's sister is Cheryl.
Okay.
Scott and Shelley.
That's pretty resourceful. Trying to, if you look when the
drink that blood.
When the Deadite right there like started biting his calf, the blood started coming out of his mouth before he was like
his
leg. Nice.
Got it. The book is much bigger in Evil Dead now that I'm looking at it.
It's durable. Like it survives this, obviously. Whew, that was close.
Ooh.
It'd be funny if after all that, that's what killed him.
And the movie ends. You're like, I don't know. Did he win?
He tried his best. Yeah, the way you can identify Shelley is the bandage on her.
These are like, again, like, man, these like the effects here are super interesting.
Yeah, because like, do they have the budget to do stop motion? That seems really...
that's what it looks. It looks like Nightmare Before Christmas here. Like the budget had to gone all to these things.
Yes, that's why they were like, look, the whole goal of this project is to do the ambitious effects, so we're gonna have to have a single location. We're all gonna have to stay there and not shower.
This is kind of fucked up.
What kind of review do you think he's going to leave on the Airbnb?
He was like 5 out of 5, unique experience, once in a lifetime trip.
Can honestly say I've never had a weekend stay like this. Wi-Fi was spotty. 4.5
It's to die for.
I-oh. That's clearly just oatmeal, guys. Or
that's just I don't, they were just like, what do we have in our fridge? Because there's like, here's what needs to happen. Like, that wasn't needed. They just had it in like, yeah, that would be gross for that to come out of his arm.
He's like, we either use it in the effect or I throw it away.
Yeah, guys, it's already past its expiration date.
Scariest part
of like, I'll eat it. It's fine.
Scariest part of this whole night was how overdressed that salad was.
God. This is how I went the first time watching it. I was like, my God.
One thing I do sort of appreciate, and it obviously makes it very fun for Sam Raimi and the creative team, is the Necronomicon, like the way it possesses you and the results of that, there's really no rules. It's like just imagine something, and that can be like a part of the possession,
Yeah.
Like levitation or super strength, or you become zombified, or like bugs crawl. It doesn't fucking matter.
Actually, the bugs crawling was the worst part. It's like it was 5 stars until the cockroaches appeared.
Those look like the little rocks you put on the bottom of an aquarium, like a home aquarium.
It's like, is this done? Nope.
He's going to get a good night's sleep after this.
No, yeah, nothing like Linda, though.
She can sleep through anything.
I wish I could go to bed like Linda.
He's like, you know what? She slept so well. She had this. You know why she slept so well? She had this white noise machine she brought with her.
Yeah.
Helped her sleep through all the murder and demon possession.
Actually, what if that is what you sleep through? Like, so my wife and I sleep to a thunderstorm. And so now thunderstorms, I'm just used to it. Now, like, what if you just go to bed every night to your friends getting murdered?
In the living room by the Necronomicon, yeah.
Like, is it only 3:10 a.m.?
I think we did see it like fuck with the clock earlier, so this might
true.
be like Cupertino time, like when you buy your iPhone and open it out of the box, what it sets to.
He's like, shit, that was only 2 hours?
So I think there is, like the Necronomicon is ineffectual during the day, because if I remember right, in the second one, he's like, we just have to survive till daylight. That's like the one.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is this door, like that the demons put their arms through, but it's clearly perfectly like cut out, like pentagons.
They're symmetrical. One of them was a contractor in a previous possession, so
yes,
they brought their measuring.
I just want to make sure that my arms cut very symmetrical.
Look, guys, we take a lot of pride in the way we possess these bodies and kill people. Let's not do a sloppy job.
It's like, I've never seen the sun so beautiful. They make me appreciate life.
It looked like the sun was setting, actually. Again, he's like, fuck no, please come up. The problem still remains the bridge is gone, so I don't know what the plan is.
I wonder if this cabin is still like around. Could probably make a day trip up there.
I was gonna say that would be cool if you could do like tours of it.
Yeah. The 5-minute tour.
And
just
that's
a gigantic spotlight. This is it. Yep. Well, that will be $300. Wait, what?
Fuck.
Oh, it was worth it. See, like this would have been fine for the opening of the second one, just right there.
Exactly, and it like blows him away, and then you can explain everything when he comes back.
Good rewatch. That is much more fun than the second time around.
I agree. That was The Evil Dead from 1981, and Cycly, we've been saying it pretty much the whole time, but I watched this a few days ago on your, I guess maybe recommendation's a bit strong, but you were like, you just need to check this out. And yeah, we're on the same page. This got better on a rewatch, maybe because I knew a little bit more what to expect. That could be part of it, certainly.
Yeah.
But it definitely like I don't want to say it fully resonated with me, but it clicked a little bit more. I kind of got it, if that makes sense. I don't know if the second one will be the same though.
It will be. I think the second one maybe we can look at more as a because again, The Evil Dead, at least 2 and 3, is known more for slapsticky horror comedy. But yeah, this one definitely tries to be, and now watching it a second time, is very much a sense of being an 80s or late 70s type horror, like fitting into that Halloween, Friday the 13th, A Nightmare Before Christmas, like trying to find its like where it should be in that category. I think horror can do more with low budget than most genres.
Yes.
It's like we always, Halloween, Saw, all of these kind of movies that they because they were just so epic in their sense, were able to launch huge franchises. Yeah, I actually really respect that movie. I think that's going to enter into another category for me in terms of like rewatchability.
So I'm moving it up from a 2.5 to a 3-star on Letterboxd. And I venture to say, because I watched it twice in 3 days, I'm going to give it a bit of a breather. But if I were to watch it again, like a third time, it might move up even further.
Yeah, I think if there is and I know the city I live in does a lot of these horror movie fests. If there's a showing of this, I'm going to make a point to go, because that's where I think this movie will thrive.
Yeah, with like a crowd, like a live audience.
Yeah, a live audience who loves horror, loves the genre, loves the ridiculousness of the movie. I think could be a really good time.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we might do the second one. Let us know in the comments below. I'm not sure when this is going to drop, but Evil Dead has a huge fan base out there, so hopefully they find this and let us know if they want us to do the sequel. For our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycly, I am the mayor, Jeff Hornacek, and we are the Bro4 Squad podcast. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. You can find us on Twitter at Bro4 Squad. We're also on Instagram at that same handle. Type in Bro Force Squad as 3 separate words on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Pretty much anywhere you find your podcasts, you'll find us there. And check out everything we have ever posted and our squad blog on our website, bro4squad.com. Till next time, Cycly, we're reading the Necronomicon. Can you do the voices when you read it? I always like that.
Yeah, but mine is just like it's a really bad British accent.
Oh, never mind.
Never
mind.